Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. In today's video, we are going to be planning a month in my bullet journal. Planning everything out ahead of its time helps me soothe my anxiety, calms me down, and also helps me to be super efficient. And the best way I think to plan is using a bullet journal, but again, that is my personal preference. I personally use a dotted bullet journal because that is what I am most comfortable with. And for writing, I have recently started using a simple black ball pen so that the ink does not seep through. I have a very minimalistic approach towards bullet journaling simply because it's the most effective one for me. We'll be starting out by writing the month and the year on the first page. A lot of people are curious as to why I don't opt for apps to plan my month or day, and the sole reason is because there's something about penning something down on paper and it just hits differently. On the next page, we will be writing the to-do list. A list in which I like to mention all the important things I need to do during the month and also any events I have to attend. Just adding a quick little box around the headlines makes them pop up. Do make sure to include things that are of actual importance in this particular list. For example, I would not mention picking up my dry cleaning in this particular list, and I would probably mention it in my daily to-do list because that's something I do on a regular basis. In this list, I would mention things that I want to get done in this specific month and holds a lot of importance. For example, signing up for certain classes or filling up certain forms. The folded chit in this particular clip is a shopping list that I like to just clip on to a paper instead of writing it on the actual book, because the shopping list is something that is pretty much recurring throughout the months. Up next, I will be making my habit tracker, which at least for me is one of the most helpful things in a bullet journal. It helps me be consistent with my habits and also makes me a lot more accountable. Initially, when I started bullet journaling, it was more about how my handwriting looked, if it was wobbly, if the lines I made were wobbly, how the decorations looked. Basically, I was much more concerned about how my bullet journal appeared than if it was effective for me or not. Now I've just let go and I enjoy bullet journaling. I enjoy the process and I actually make sure that what I am doing is effective and helpful for me at the end of the day. The dots come in super handy in this particular case, or in any case as a matter of fact, because I like my lines or my handwriting to be aligned. But that is for me personally. You can do whatever you want to in your case. As you can see, the habit tracker that I am drawing requires for me to make a rectangle in which I will be drawing lines and making little check boxes that I will tick in every single day after completing that particular habit. This is a method that I think suits me best. Of course, you can use any method that you think works best for you. I will be linking down a few other ideas for a habit tracker in the description box below, and also you can find a ton of other ideas on Pinterest or on Google. At the end of the day, it's all about the trial and error method and seeing what works best for you. So try a few things out and see what suits you the best. Bullet journaling can be a little time consuming, as you can see. I do take my time drawing these lines and making this habit tracker and also just setting up my bullet journal for the month. But honestly, I really enjoy the process. It's calming and it's really like a form of meditation for me. For any activity or anything to be successful, it's important for us to identify our why power as to why we are doing something. Why are we planning? Why are we using a journal? Why are we using a bullet journal specifically? In my case, I like to use a journal instead of an app because I just tend to take things more seriously when I've written them down using a pen on a paper. It just seems a lot more formal to me and something that I end up taking a lot more seriously and actually completing than when it usually involves an app where I can actually just easily uninstall it and I don't have to worry about anything. It's just the way I work personally. So in your case, you have to check what works best for you and make the most out of it. But in order to ensure that that technique works best for you, you have to set your why power. As in, you have to decide why you are planning and how you want to plan so that you can check if what you are getting through your system is actually working for you. I usually like to set up my journal for the month on a Sunday morning with a hot cup of chai next to me and some relaxing music which is playing on. This is definitely an amazing thing, an activity that I'd recommend if you want to increase your concentration level, and also something that is very therapeutic in general. Seeing a completely filled habit tracker at the end of the month is one of the most satisfying feelings. I have actually noticed that just to see my habit tracker filled, I do end up drinking enough water every day, saying out my affirmations, journaling, studying, sleeping well, exercising, and all those wonderful things that I do want to incorporate in my lifestyle. Finally, moving on to the daily part of my bullet journaling. This is pretty much the easiest part, where I write down the day and the date in the following format. I obviously like to put it in a box to make it pop, like I said before, and I just write down the things that I need to get done that day. No, I do not write down the scheduled things. Like, for example, if I have a class which is scheduled every single day at the same time, I do not write it down in my list for the day. But I do write down things which are a little out of routine. For example, I need to go pick up a few things from my friend's place, or if I have a party to attend, I do definitely write that down. And yes, it also helps me to plan in advance so that I can be prepared in advance. I like to go through my bullet journal once in the morning and once every night before going to bed, so that I can see what I have ahead of me the next day. Anyways guys, that's all for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Hope it was helpful.